Hey, Walk the Line listeners, welcome to another episode of the Walk the Line podcast. I'll be your host, Greg Sowers. And after 6 months, we're back with another episode, episode 31, and we'll be discussing kind of basically what's gone on in the past 6 months. The plan is to kind of do season recaps quickly. We have tryouts coming up next week, and then we'll begin to start doing our normal weekly episodes, focusing on different topics in the youth hockey world. So with that being said, so I had the privilege of coaching the Bantam AA Nashville Flyers as well as the G-Nash Summit Page high school hockey team. And both of those seasons were completely different in the fact of season outcomes and also the things we went through attitude-wise, results-wise, dealt with injuries. So I just think it's important to recognize that, you're going to have your up and down seasons. As a coach coaching two teams, you can kind of get the polar opposites within the same season. So just kind of a general recap. The Summit Page high school team, we started in the bottom bracket in G-Nash, and you have to play your way out of that bottom bracket. And around Christmas time, if you're one of the top two teams, you get bumped up to the top tier. So we started in the bottom. We played well. Only had, I believe, a couple losses in the first half of the season, and earned our way into the top spot. Kind of just fast forwarding through everything, we, coming from the bottom bracket, actually ended up getting first place overall for playoff seeding, and made our way to the playoffs and lost the first two games as it's double elimination. So we got our two playoff games, lost both, and we were done. Season was over. But just kind of to, again, recap, it was starting in a spot where, we had to play our way out of to get into the better teams per se. The guys had to, pull together and play well as a team, but also realizing when they got to that top bracket, we had to adjust and play even better than we were. We didn't encounter very many hiccups along the way. Lots of wins. Goalies were playing well. We're scoring. We didn't have a lot of speed bumps. So we weren't really tested. Obviously, each game's a test, and you want to win those games, but we didn't have that big, hurdle for us to get over and express some resiliency in getting through those things. So not saying we coasted our way through by any means, but when I speak about our Bantam AA team, it was kind of the complete opposite, and how we had to learn and bounce back from those things. So, from a coaching perspective, coaching a team that's succeeding and doing well, we don't really have the opportunity to basically, lay down the law and say we need to pick it up in these points because whatever we're doing is working. So, obviously the guys are positive for the high school team because everything's going well and we're building off of it. Everybody's playing, the body language is good. There's not really any need for negativity because we're doing well. So as a coach, you try to not let your team get too high or get too low. And in this case with my high schoolers, it was, hey, we're doing well, but the games that matter are coming up in playoffs. And, unfortunately we didn't have the stuff to get the two wins we needed in playoffs. So we got bounced early, and, it's, never have a loss and not learn from it, right? So it's easy to win and keep going, but obviously it was an opportunity for our high schoolers, and we only lost 5 seniors to come back for next year in the 24-25 season, to learn from those losses and realize, the games that matter are the ones that can get you eliminated in playoffs. But, it was a great season. I was, happy to be a part of it, looking forward to coming back next year. But it was just, again, that polar positive side of the spectrum of things are going well, and, there wasn't much to motivate the team to continue on that path, because everything was going well. So it's kind of shifting gears to the Bantam AA team. So we were made up of 2009s and 2010s, and we were about half '09s and half '10s. So playing at the AA level, a lot of the teams we were playing were primarily all 2009 birth years, and it was an adjustment period for the 2010s to get acclimated to the hitting and the speed and the physicality of the Bantam AA level. So we came out of the gates, and it was a struggle pretty much from day one. We had a big defenseman that was going to be a big part of our team. He got hurt right at the beginning of the first tournament of the season and pretty much knocked him out for the entire year. And pretty much from day one, we were hit with adversity. As compared to the high schoolers where it was easy going and things were going well. The Bantams had to overcome a lot. And, obviously as a coach, the goal is to just make sure your team is better than when you got them on day one. And I think for both programs, we did that. Obviously the results can speak for themselves. But I do think it's a learning lesson from both sides. Things are going well. How do you stay on your toes and continue to adapt and get better? And then when things aren't going your way, what can you do to kind of right the ship and get things going again? So for the Bantams, it was, hey, let's worry about what's going on in your next shift. If you make a mistake, have that next shift mentality, and go out there and correct whatever happened last shift. Because if you dwell on what happened last shift, you're not going to be any use for the rest of the game. So, again, not getting too high or getting too low. High schoolers, I was trying not to get them too high, realize there's still things to work for, things they can get better at. For the Bantams, it was, hey, look, things aren't going our way, but, at the end of the day, you're getting to play hockey, and, you're getting better from this experience. The losing makes you stronger. Winning can help make you stronger, but to be a good winner, you may have to learn how to lose a few times. So, as a coach for both programs, it was, trying to keep the standard on and off the ice, because whether you're winning or losing, the same amount of effort should be going in. You should still, try to remain as positive as you can. Keep your teammates positive. Making sure there's not any things going on in the locker room that could be detrimental to the team or the program. But, and also when things aren't going well, it's tough for a coach, because you don't want to be the coach who's constantly saying, hey, this is what we're doing wrong. This is what, we could be doing better. This is why we're losing games. You can't beat down, your players, every time you're on the ice. You got to keep it fun. You got to keep them wanting to come back to the rink and enjoying the game they love. So, again, as a coach and as a parent, we could do the same things of trying to keep everything even keel. And, when things are going well, that's awesome. But just a reminder that, there are things you could still improve on if the team is doing well, or if you're doing well. There's always things you can get better at. And then if things aren't going well, to not continuously beat down the player or the team, but, provide some type of encouragement, while also realizing that, the results may be not what you want them to be. And again, it two polar opposites of seasons, but, I can say, at least I would say that our high school team is in a good spot for next year. Again, we lost 5 seniors, but we got some incoming freshmen that should be a nice addition to the team. And, learning from the loss that we had this past season should make us stronger. And for the Bantams, those 2010s that, experienced their first year of Bantam hockey at the AA level, we were kind of, swimming... our heads were below water for most of the season, but hopefully that experience, gives them that idea of what the next season is going to be like, and helping out the first years at the Bantam level if there are any. So again, this was just kind of a let's get back into it podcast. Just kind of recapping the high school and Bantam teams. I'm going to try to get one of these out a week for the summer, and then hopefully when the seasons come back around, have some time to release an episode every now and then. But it just gets a little busy from time to time. But I hope everybody's watching some playoff hockey. Just started. Make sure you're watching the games, learning from the games. Don't just watch as a fan. Every now and then watch as a student. Find a player that's your position and you think they fit what you do on the ice well, and see what they do. How they battle, how they compete, what they're willing to do in the defensive zone and blocking shots and all those little things. So make sure we're watching some playoff hockey because you can learn and improve your game away from the rink. I hope everybody does well at tryouts this coming week. It's a stressful time. Make sure you introduce yourself to coaches if you're trying to get that extra edge. There is a podcast episode out there about tryouts if you want to listen back to that. And then there are a few things we have going on this spring and summer. If you're looking for some extra ice, we have a couple of things at the lab where we're doing 3-on-3 tournaments and also some small group training sessions. But again, just wanted to put this podcast out there real quick, get the gears going again, and we should have some more episodes coming up in the next few weeks. So looking forward to seeing everybody at the rink, and have a great rest of your day.